What was the worst reason someone gave for breaking up with you? About 6 years ago, I lived in an extremely tiny town. Nobody locked their doors or cars, or anything of that sort. Everyone knew each other and it was a very tight-knit community. For reference, I am 25 years old, 6 feet 4 inches, 260 pounds, around 10% body fat. I have an IFBB Pro card in bodybuilding. This will come into play later in the story. So my wife and my dog are sleeping in our bedroom, which is on the opposite side of our apartment, with the door closed, so the dog doesn't rumble through the garbage at night while we sleep. It's raining outside and usually the apartment creaks and makes noises because it's very old, but I ignore it and go back to sleep as it happens every night. Now this night in particular I was hearing some extra noises. My dog, who usually ignores the sounds as well, was going absolutely bonkers in the room. He's not a barker, but he lets me know when he hears something by jumping on the bed and licking my face, also when he's scared. So to get back to the story, my dog is going nuts, my wife is sound asleep, and I am up watching Netflix at around 3 a.m. when I have work at 8 a.m. I keep hearing these faint noises, like a cabinet opening and closing, but like I said before, we are in a very small community and I think nothing of it. No way someone is actually in my apartment. So all of a sudden I take one earphone out, and I hear it the flicker of a light switch. It's an old house, so it has those loud light switch flicker when you turn something on and off. I imminently knew something was wrong, as this is not a sound I normally hear, and I get up and creak my door open just a little and see a light on in the near kitchen room. I know I shut all the lights before showering before bed, so I leap into action, wake up my wife and tell her to stay here with the dog and lock the door and to not come out unless I say everything is safe. I walk into the kitchen and there is a guy, probably late 30s, going through every drawer and cabinet I had. I said hey in a loud voice and scared the absolute crap out of the guy. I guess he thought no one was home, and he charged at me. So for reference, remember I said 6'4", 260ths of a pounds, and the guy charging at me, around 5 feet 10 inches / 160? So he charges at me and I shove him against my wall with my forearm against his neck, make a huge hole in the wall, and begin to headbutt the guy until he's nearly unconscious. I turned him around and proceeded to hold him in a chokehold headlock, and out of nowhere his wife, I later found out it was his wife, was also in my apartment and came charging at me. I put up my foot, exactly how you would imagine it in the WWE, and I punted that goober right in her gut, and she fell to the floor. So now, the guy is unconscious, the girl is on the floor in massive amounts of pain, and I'm standing there covered in blood from this guy's face. I feel funny, not sure what this feeling is. I feel cold in a spot on my stomach, sort of like if you spit on your stomach and a strong gust of wind comes and it feels extra cold, you know what I mean? Well, I looked down and realized I got stabbed. I had a 4.5-inch knife in my clear abdomen muscle. While I was headbutting this guy, he was able to sneak a knife he had right into my gut, without me realizing it. I quickly start to panic and call 911. I sit there until they come, go to the hospital, nearly dying. I recovered well, missing all vital organs, and when I woke up in the hospital I had police there and was told that the guy robbing my apartment was dead. My headbutts broke his skull and he internally bled out in his brain. My heart sank. Yes, the guy stabbed me, yes, the guy threatened my wife and dog, who is like my son, and yes, he came onto my property, but I did not want to end anyone. Well anyway, to sum up the story, when I awoke in the hospital and they told me this, my wife divorced me on the spot, saying she can't stay married to someone who ends someone else, regardless of the situation.